Hi, my name is Ilene Rein. I'm an executive recruiter and a job search strategist with Pounding Pavement 101. I am here today talking to Maria Castillo Dominguez. We are talking about the financial end of job searching and the financial end of layoffs, and they are happening all over right now. So Maria, please introduce yourself.
Hello, everyone. My name is Maria Castillo Dominguez. I am a certified financial planner, and I am the founder of Valoria Wealth Management. Our firm specializes in helping professional women with every aspect of their financial life.
So thank you so much for being here today, because boy, people just are struggling and they're not quite sure what to do. So before we get into today's topic, I want to remind everyone to subscribe or follow to get alerts every time I post new content to help you in your career and your job search. So Maria, let's talk about this. Okay, so a lot of layoffs happening. Layoffs come out of the blue. People aren't expecting it. And even if you hear it in the air, you're still in denial that it's going to happen. So you are not prepared to job search. You're not prepared to financially because you haven't done this. So if you find yourself in a layoff situation, what can people do financially?
Very good question. I'm gonna break this into two big ones, two big steps.
Okay.
And I'm gonna start with the income and the benefits that you're losing, right? It is a hard time, right? So it's hard to make good decisions when you are in a shocking period. So it's good to take a little pause, a little time to review everything that you have and see how you can plan ahead. So the first thing I will do is review your income and the benefits that you're losing. That is things like, very important, health insurance. Mm-hmm. You're not gonna be covered by your group health insurance policy anymore. So what are your other choices? It's likely, most 100%, that they're gonna offer COBRA. COBRA is a continuation of the benefits through your employer, which usually gives you a better price than going to the marketplace yourself. You do not want to be without health insurance. It's very important. So see what they are giving you, what COBRA benefits they are offering you, and how much you're going to have to cover for this expense now. Another important one is flexible spending accounts. This is money that you may have put into your flexible spending account for medical, dental, any health expenses. Those must be used before you leave your employer or you lose that money. So important.
Question, but what happens if you get laid off? You weren't expecting it. Do you still lose that flexible spending account?
Likely. Yes.
Really?
Yeah, you may be able to, every company is different. You may be able to negotiate something, but most cases it's tied to your employment. So when you leave your employer, even if it's involuntarily, this money goes away. So you have to make sure
even if you're leaving involuntarily, you lose that money also. Wow, yes. I wasn't aware of that.
Yeah, so you have to be aware of this and make sure, there are many things that you can use to use this money. For example, dental work, medicine, even therapy, certain things that you can use for. So make sure that you review the rules and see if your employer is willing to negotiate something like this,
And that's something that you can walk people through, because
yes.
You're a financial advisor and a financial expert, whereas a lot of people aren't, and they're not even quite sure who to reach out to or what questions to ask. So it sounds like one of the first calls that they should be making is to someone like you, to walk them through and just have that conversation, so this way they're aware of everything.
Yes, and if you have a financial planner, talk to your financial planner. Just use someone that knows the rules and can guide you through this process. And
how often do you talk to a financial planner? Because, I know some people who talk to their financial planner once a year, some do it every month. Especially in this economy right now, in this situation, what would you recommend?
It depends on the services that you're getting from your financial planner. So some people, they do an annual meeting some advisors, like I meet with my clients more often. I have at least 3 annual meetings. So every quarter approximately I meet with them, and then I talk to them a lot more throughout the year. So it depends on your financial advisor, what they are doing for you. It doesn't mean that because they're meeting with you just once a year, they do a bad job, right? Everybody has their own way to work, basically.
Yeah, I
But
mean, it's the
definitely every
bigger
time-
picture.
Yeah, but every time there is a change in your situation, you should be talking to your financial planner. Very important. Your financial planner should be aware of everything. Yeah.
Yeah, at all times. I mean, they're the ones who are taking care of your money and your livelihoods and, and your retirement, which is extremely important.
Another things to take to look at is severance package. What are they giving you? What are they offering you? You may be able to negotiate what your severance package looks like. And be aware that this money is taxable to you the year that you receive it. So if you are in, at the end of the year and all of a sudden you receive a severance package, you may find yourself in a higher tax bracket too, because everything is taxable to you when you receive it. So make sure that you know how to negotiate it, what to negotiate, and the taxability, because not everything is gonna get to your pocket. Some is gonna go to Uncle Sam. Another things that you should, in the income list of income and benefits is unemployment benefits. Apply for unemployment benefits during the time that if you're eligible for, during the time that you're not employed, you may be able to receive unemployment benefits. Even if it's not covering all your expenses, it can help. And then evaluate other sources of incomes that you may have. Maybe you have a spouse that is also working. Maybe you have real estate income. So what other sources of income do you have that can help you cover your expenses during this period of time? And then let's not forget about our emergency fund. And I hope that everybody has an emergency fund or is building an emergency fund, because this is the time to use your emergency fund. This is what you set your emergency fund for, emergencies. You were not expecting to be laid off, and here is the situation. So those are, I would say, in the first, hey, let's evaluate all of this. And then it's time to review also your expenses. This is a good time to look at your expenses. So what are your needs versus your wants? Meaning your need is, you need a place to live, you need food, you need transportation. There are certain things that you need, and there are certain things that you want. You need to eat, but you don't need to eat in a fancy restaurant, right? So reevaluate those two. There are different things. So consider, the cost also for finding a new job, for example. Maybe it's through LinkedIn, or maybe it's through recruiting, or whatever it is. It may have a little added cost that you did not have before.
Yeah, and that's extremely important because, I'm going to take a moment and say, the job search takes a long time and you need to have that emergency fund. So I'm going back to the emergency fund because you don't know when you're going to find that new job. Now, I know I have some job seekers coming to me. They've been looking for a year and a half. And it's because they were trying to do this process on their own instead of reaching out for professional assistance, because my clients are getting hired 6 times faster and in their dream jobs and for more money than job searching on their own. So if I can take a year and a half job search and change it to 3 months, and then you have all that saved income that they can be calling you, Maria, that they can be investing and having going back to those expensive dinners. That's really the way to do it, is to invest your money in the right places now to get you employed again. That's incredibly important, because otherwise this can go on for a very long time. And every month that you're not working, you're losing money as far as I'm concerned.
Exactly. That's a very good point. And you're losing money every time that every month, very good. Calculate, you evaluated your income and you evaluated your expenses. So calculate what is the amount that you have maybe short when you do this calculation. Maybe your income is not covering all your expenses. So let's see what is the difference there. And that's when you want to use your emergency fund for. Now, other things that you can look at too is review any unnecessary expenses. And these are maybe subscriptions that we all have and we don't use, right? So this is a good time to Take 1 hour or two, sit down and see, hey, what are these unnecessary expenses I really don't need anymore? It's a good time.
So in other words, you don't need Netflix, Hulu, Plex, Paramount, Peacock. You don't need all of them.
All of them, exactly.
Get one a month, watch everything that's on there, end the subscription, go to the different one next month.
Exactly. So things like that may add a little bit more, a little bit, improve a little bit your cash flow, let's say. And another thing is, if you find yourself in a situation where you have some debt, don't underestimate the talking to them about it. Creditors in many situations are willing to negotiate a temporary payment plan, because you can just be honest, I lost my job, I need a little bit of time, and we have two options here. Either I don't pay this, or we negotiate a payment plan that I can pay. And most of the time, they're going to be willing to, they want to get paid. So they're going to be willing to negotiate with you. So don't underestimate the negotiating power that you have during this time too.
Yeah, they're just happy to have money coming to them, even if it's $25 a month. Exactly. At least they know that you're not walking away from that debt.
Yes, yes.
And people are understanding this is a difficult time, and it's okay. There's nothing to be embarrassed about. There was nothing that you did to lose that job. It was probably just a financial decision on the company's part, and we need to get you whole again.
Exactly. And it's a temporary situation. We all have had it. I was laid off before.
It's a bump in the road is the way I look at it. Tomorrow is another day. It's not the end of the world. It's a marathon, your career. So you just see it as a bump in the road. Continue.
Yes. The last thing I want to say is avoid using debt to pay for expenses as much as you can, meaning putting on expenses in your credit card, any type of loan or things like that. Sometimes I get the question about distributing assets from retirement accounts. There are certain rules when you can distribute assets from retirement accounts without penalties. I will use that as a last resort. I will use both the paying with debt, with credit cards and things like that as a last resort, distributing money from your retirement accounts as a last resort. There are certain things that you can do, and hopefully you have built an emergency fund that can help you during this period of time.
Well, and hopefully you're working with a financial planner that can walk you through this. If not, reach out to Maria. We're going to add her contact information, so this way you can get in touch with her, have that conversation. So this way you are, everything is planned out, and at least you're getting that expert advice that you really need walking through this difficult time. Layoffs are happening. You've just got to deal with it. Again, it's a bump in the road. You have a long career. Okay, things happen along the way.
Yes.
So Maria, thank you so much for sharing this information for the people who are going through a layoff right now. And as I said, there are a lot of people going through this. So we are here to help. We're going to add the information below. Maria, thank you. I'm going to remind everyone to subscribe to get alerts or follow, depending on what social media channel you're watching this on. So this way you get alerts every time we post new content to help you in your career and get hired again. My name is Ilene Rein. I'm an executive recruiter and a job search strategist with Pounding Pavement 101. Thank you, Maria.
Thank you.